Tonight at 6, Adaptive Sports Ohio held their wheelchair basketball state championship in the MAC this weekend. How they are helping those with disabilities feel included.
And initially there was not a request for me to go out, even before I was heading over to Key. So I'm keeping very close tabs on it. We're doing all we can. Northern California, sir.
President Biden made a statement regarding his lack of plans to visit the site of the East Palestine train wreck.
And will this cold, rainy weather continue into the week? I'll tell you all about this week's upcoming weather later tonight.
Hear how McDonald's celebrated one couple's anniversary with a burger and fries. All these stories and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Monday evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Alexandria Manthey.
And I'm Natalie DeSantis. Tonight we start with an Ohio organization dedicated to community-based interscholastic sports for those with disabilities.
That's right. Our reporter Sydney Brown attended the state championship this weekend at the MAC Center. Hi, Sydney.
Hi guys, that's right. Kent State hosted the 5th Wheelchair Basketball State Championship. Ohio adaptive sports teams from Worcester and Austintown faced off on Saturday night. Four-time defending state champions, the Worcester Wheelchair Generals, took home their 5th championship title Saturday night. They faced the first-time finalists, the Austintown Wheelchair Falcons, at Kent State's MAC Center.
These athletes are inspiring. I mean, what you saw out on the court is incredible, and this is what they do every week when they compete. Just like able-bodied athletes and schools get funding from the state, now the adaptive sports do as well. And as you can see, maybe their bodies work a little bit different than yours or mine does, but these are athletes in every sense of the word, and they need to be out there competing.
But this game is a platform for a much bigger movement.
We were so fortunate to have Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose join us today, along with Paralympian and Hall of Famer Paul Schulte and State Representative Gail Pavliga. And they joined. They're supporters of what we're doing at Adaptive Sports Ohio, very passionate about bringing opportunities for students with disabilities. So it was wonderful to have them here with us and present the awards to our runners-up and our All-Ohio athletes.
Just so many great lessons that come from sports, but not to mention just the sense of togetherness and belonging that you get from being on a team and competing. And tonight, as I was putting those ribbons around the necks of those athletes, you could just see the pride in their eyes. They deserve to have that sense of pride, just like any able-bodied athlete would have.
And Adaptive Sports Ohio is working towards a more inclusive atmosphere, hoping to give all people with physical disabilities a chance to play.
What's really cool about wheelchair basketball is that we include students with disabilities and students without. We call it reverse integration, but basically what we're doing is bringing together these two different types of students so that they can play a game together and form a bond and form unity, and then the friendships that they make on the court extend outside of the court and build relationships within the school body, which is really, really important.
But Ohio Adaptive Sports says they aren't stopping here.
We started in 2015 with Worcester Generals as the first school-based team, and we've grown that to 8 teams now, with 5 more teams joining for next year. And we're always looking for more school districts that want to open the doors of their athletic programming to include this very important population.
Ohio Adaptive Sports will have 5 new teams next season from Boardman, Centerville, North Canton, Newark, and Cleveland Metro for Ohio's physically impaired youth. Reporting from the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Sydney Brown.
Thanks, Sydney. Tomorrow at the men's basketball game against Ohio University, Kent State's undergraduate student government will have a surprise for you. USG will be announcing the artists that will be performing at this Flash Fest this semester.
If you want to be one of the first ones to find out the big news, you can head over to the MAC tomorrow at 7 p.m.
For one Streetsboro firefighter, a normal day of training turned into a life or death situation. Chris Fredmonski said he started his day as usual, but the next thing he remembered was waking up in the back of a squad car with his coworkers performing CPR. His heart stopped and he went into cardiac arrest. There were 6 paramedics and an ER doctor present. Fredmonski said the episode happened at the best place possible.
Lexi Davis and Philip Memon took a plunge into 42-degree water immediately after exchanging their wedding vows. The couple participated in the annual polar bear jump at Portage Lakes State Park on Saturday, alongside their officiate, Barberton Municipal Court Judge Todd McKinney. The ceremony made polar bear jump history, being the first wedding to take place at the event.
Hi, good evening, Portage County, and welcome to your weather forecast. Let's start things off with the weather right here in Kent. As you can see, right now we're at 47 degrees, but it feels a lot colder than that, right at 41 degrees. Our dew point's at 36, with wind at 11 miles per hour. Humidity sitting at 84%, and we have visibility only at 4 miles. Now, moving on, let's see. Tonight, later on, we're going to be still seeing a bit of rain, but 48 degrees. We're going to get a bit warmer, and the rain should stop by about 9 p.m. tonight. At midnight, we're going to get even more warmer, up 1 degree to 49, and for tomorrow morning, we're going to have to see those temperatures go back down to only 38 degrees. Let's take a look at what weather is going to be looking like tomorrow. We're going to have a high of 45 degrees with some winds going from 20 to 10 miles per hour. It's going to be cloudy right in the morning, but we should see some sun towards the end of the day. Sunset will also be at 6:15 p.m. That's all the time we have for weather for tonight, but stay tuned for later on in the forecast. I'll tell you about temperatures all around the state and give you that 7-day forecast later in the night.
Thanks, Noah. 1 year into the war in Ukraine, and a teacher in Akron continues to assist students from afar. Instructor Mark Mertzweiler was in Dnipro, Ukraine, teaching English as Russian forces prepared to attack. He planned on staying as long as he could, but as tensions grew, he was forced to move back to Ohio. Mertzweiler was able to still connect with students over video chat, continuing to teach over 50 Ukrainian students the English language.
The boost in benefits in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program that was put in place during the COVID-19 pandemic is ending after February, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food and Nutrition Service. SNAP benefits are used by eligible households to purchase food. In Ohio, the emergency allotments were distributed electronically every month through Ohio direction cards. Today, the EPA moved forward with plans to dispose of the 100 gallons of toxic liquid and 5 truckloads of hazardous soil that resulted from the East Palestine train derailment that happened 3 weeks ago. The contaminated materials is being shipped to 2 separate EPA facilities in Ohio. Norfolk Southern, the company that owns the train, is assisting in the cleanup.
And new research of the East Palestine train derailment shows that the rail's hotbox detectors failed to stop the train derailment. Hotbox detectors are infrared sensors that record temperatures of trains passing by. If they sense an overheated bearing, an alarm notifies the train crew that they should stop and inspect the rail car for potential failure. The hotbox detectors were in northeast Ohio, failed to trigger this alarm until it was too late. And East Palestine residents can expect a knock on their door this week for more door-to-door testing. This comes after President Biden ordered the EPA, FEMA, and CDC to conduct door-to-door visits to check the families impacted. FEMA officials have also announced that they plan to hold daily press conferences to provide updates at 4 p.m. daily.
The answer is that I had a long meeting with my team and what they're doing. You know, we were there 2 hours after the train went down. 2 hours. I've spoken with every single major figure in both Pennsylvania and in Ohio. And so the idea that we're not engaged is just simply not there.
President Biden made a statement on Friday that he has no plans to travel to East Palestine after the toxic train derailment. The Republican Party has taken the opportunity to criticize his decision, including East Palestine Mayor Trent Conaway and former President Donald Trump, who visited on Wednesday. Biden stated that he is keeping a close eye on the situation and that his administration is doing everything possible to help.
Well, it's Joe's decision, and we support whatever he wants to do. If he's in, we're there. If he wants to do something else, we're there.
Could President Biden run for a second term? First Lady Jill Biden speaks out on a re-election and her support.
The big drug bust unfolding in Arizona has resulted in more than 100 arrests. We have the details.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. As the 2024 presidential election gets closer, voters wonder if President Biden will run for re-election.
Our correspondent Skylar Edington has more. Hi, Skylar.
Hi guys. Yes, the 2024 election is right around the corner, and First Lady Jill Biden had some very interesting things to say. First Lady Jill Biden was recently interviewed where she was asked about her husband, President Joe Biden's potential run for presidency. Jill Biden mentioned that it was Joe's decision and that she will support him in whatever path he decides. Reporters asked if there is any chance that he would not run for re-election, and the First Lady stated, "Not in my book."
He said he intends to run, so nothing's been planned yet. I think, he's been so busy with being in Ukraine, handling some of the crises at home. So I think, he's putting that first. He's putting America's business before he's putting his own.
The First Lady has also made a recent trip to Africa where she visited Kenya at a drought responses site. Africa has been dealing with the worst drought in 7 generations, which has led to over 4 million people with limited access to food supplies. However, the United States has provided 70% of the money going towards aid. Biden has asked other countries to step up and help aid the struggling region. While the First Lady was in Kenya, she also attended several different meetings to help in any way she could. The first meeting she had was a safe sex practice lecture for the young adults of the region. She then made her way to a meeting where she met with women who created their own banking system. Her last stop consisted of speaking with young entrepreneurs who participate in a program that connects tractor owners and farmers. The government has proposed a new bill that would restrict the amount of medications being accessible from the telehealth visits. The Drug Enforcement Agency proposed the idea to prevent addictive medications from being overprescribed. However, patients would still be able to get less addictive medications, such as antibiotics and birth control, prescribed through online telehealth. Then Tuesday, the Supreme Court is set to hear arguments for President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness program. The plan, if passed, would forgive up to $20,000 in student debt for borrowers that qualify. At the hearing, there will be 2 cases in front of the judges, and both of them argue the government shouldn't be able to cancel debt. However, due to a 2003 law, the Biden administration does have the power in the case of a national emergency. That is all I have for you guys today. To hear more about these stories, go to KentWire.com. Reporting for TV2, I'm Skylar Edington. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Skylar. Michigan Congresswoman Elisa Slotkin has entered the race to replace retiring Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow. Slotkin made the announcement with a campaign launch video released on her YouTube page and U.S. Senate campaign website. In the video, Slotkin talks about growing up in Michigan, entering public service after 9/11, and working for the CIA. Slotkin is the first Democrat to officially declare a run in what likely will be among the most competitive and expensive Senate contests of 2024.
The Arizona State's Attorney General stated that an astonishing amount of drugs, weapons, and $2 million were found in the Phoenix area. More than 500,000 fentanyl pills, 3,000 pounds of methamphetamine, and large quantities of heroin and cocaine were found in the stash of drugs. Authorities have said that the seizure is a result of a 3-year investigation and that the Sinaloa drug cartel is to blame.
A winter storm is tearing across the nation. In Southern California, they're seeing more than 6 feet of snow.
In Texas, hurricane force winds are whipping up dust storms and powerful tornadoes are ripping through Oklahoma and Kansas. One of those tornadoes tore through Norman, Oklahoma, just south of Oklahoma City, injuring at least a dozen people. But now for weather here in Ohio, we have our own Noah Rowe.
Hi guys, welcome back to the second half of tonight's weather forecast. Let's pick up where we left off and take a look at temperatures around Northeast Ohio. As you can see, we have a pretty wide spread today. 41 in Ashtabula, 46 in Cleveland, and 47 in Sandusky for our areas right along the top of the lake. Right here in Kent, we're at 45, Youngstown at 44, Canton at 48, and Worcester and Mansfield are going to have our highest temperatures of the day at 49 and 50 respectively. Now for temperatures all across the entire state, we're going to be looking at 47 in Akron, and right here in the Akron area, that's actually the coldest we have today. 43 in Lima, 58 in Columbus, Steubenville is going to be at 50. 50 in Athens, and we have two different regions breaking into the 60s. Those would be Dayton and Cincinnati. Finally, let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, we're going to be having 45 degrees. It's going to be, as I said earlier in the show, cloudy in the beginning of the day, but we're going to get some sun towards the evening. And on Wednesday, look at that, 66 degrees, and it's going to be partly cloudy, but we should get some breaks of sun in there as well. We're going to have some more rain on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, just like for the past couple weeks. It's going to cool down during the weekends. We're going to have 39 with a high and a low of 26 on Saturday, and on Sunday, there's a good chance that we may see scattered snow showers across the area. And finally, on Monday, we're going to warm right back up. We won't have that snow, but we'll still be in the low 40s. And with that, we are going to have to conclude tonight's weather. Stay dry tonight and have a fantastic evening, Portage County.
Thanks, Noah. NASA's SpaceX launch that was scheduled for today got stopped 2 minutes before takeoff after a mechanical issue with the ignition fluid was found. The Crew 6 teams is expected to spend about 6 months on the International Space Station, where they will continue the work of the many pioneers before them. The next possible launch date is Tuesday at 1:22 a.m. Eastern Time.
A Saudi foreign minister visited Kiev for the first time in 30 years since the two countries established diplomatic relations. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud and thanked them for supporting peace in Ukraine.
The head of the presidential office, Andrei Yermak, said both Ukraine and Saudi Arabia have faced the same challenges and experiences recently. And some of the more aggressive and relentless fighting in the Ukraine war is taking place in Bakhmut. Russian forces have claimed to have seized surrounding villages in an attempt to corner the city. Ukrainian forces are doing their best to stand their ground, but President Zelensky has stated that they will not hold on if it means that everyone is going to die.
Did it really or rally to take action to hold Israel accountable? Did it sanction the occupying power for committing international crimes? Did it assist the Palestinian people in seeking redress at the International Court of Justice? No, it did not.
Palestinian Authority Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki criticized the international community for lack of action against Israel during an address to the UN Human Rights Council on Monday. The West Bank saw another deadly flare-up between Israelis and Palestinians as tensions and violent clashes increase. The Israel Defense Forces said it was working to keep Palestinians and Israelis apart in the region in order to de-escalate those tensions.
At least 61 people are dead as a result of a migrant shipwreck off the southern Italian coast of Calabria, according to the prefect of Crotone office of Manuela Cura. The disaster occurred on Sunday due to harsh weather conditions. 80 people have recovered, but information is still developing and the number of those missing has yet to be established. The 29th Annual Screen Actors Guild Award was Sunday night, and all at once, several iconic winning moments took place.
The Cleveland Cavaliers hosted the Raptors over the weekend. We have the highlights and more coming up on TV2 Sports.
Now, your TV2 Sports Report.
WNBA star Brittany Griner and her wife made a special guest appearance at the NAACP Image Awards on Saturday. Queen Latifah announced her appearance saying, quote, "In the spirit of overcoming adversity, I want to take this moment to recognize someone who has done just that, back home, back here with us tonight, where she belongs."
This comes after Griner's prison swap with Russia back in December. But for more with sports here on campus, we have Tai Belcher. Hi, Tai.
How are you ladies doing tonight? Good evening, Portage County. I'm Tai Belcher with your Monday TV2 Sports Report. The Kent State track and field teams traveled to Bowling Green this weekend to participate in the MAC Indoor Championships. The men's team will ultimately finish in second place, just 11 points behind the men's champion, Eastern Michigan. Kent State was aided by junior Alex Shields, who scored 28 points all by himself. The women's teams, on the other hand, finished in fourth place overall, with pole vaulter Leah Pascaletti winning her third straight MAC championship in the pole vault with a vault of 4 meters even. The Kent State baseball team dropped yesterday's game against Wofford 11-3. The Golden Flashes left-handed pitcher Eric Chulis went 5 innings, allowing only 3 hits during the span. But in those 3 hits, 2 hits, Wofford was able to score 2 runs. Wofford's preseason player of the year was able to go 2 for 2, including a 3-run homer. The Golden Flashes baseball team's record now goes to 2-4 in the season. The Golden Flashes will be back in action tomorrow against Murray State. Last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers looked to get back on the right side with a win column after dropping the last 2 games. Donovan Mitchell will hit a 3-pointer right here to take the early 16-12 lead. And Donovan Mitchell will be back in action, hitting another 3 from beyond the arch. Donovan Mitchell will go on to have a great game. Here, Darius Garland will find Jared Allen in transition for the and-1 bucket. Mitchell was doing more than just scoring. Here he dishes it to Evan Mobley to score 2 of his 18 points, to extend the lead to 9. Everyone was getting involved last night. Darius Garland sucks in the defense to open up the lane for the alley-oop to Jared Allen. Darius Garland was spreading the love to everyone, finding Donovan Mitchell for the 3 from the wing to knock down another contested 3. Mitchell would just get it done at all 3 levels as he finishes right here with a floater, nothing but net. But Mitchell will hit another 3, make sure their bank was open as he hits another one off the glass. Here, Karis LeVert will poke the ball free and finds Darius Garland for a dunk on the fast break to extend the lead to 25. The crowd's feeling it, Garland's feeling it, and the bench is really feeling it. The Cavs will go on to win 118-93. And that's all I have for sports today. For updates in and around athletics in Portage County, be sure to follow us at TV2 KSU Sports. I've been Tai Belcher, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ty. One couple is loving it, just like the McDonald's commercials say. Hear how they found love in a fast food restaurant. Welcome back. Sometimes love can be found in the strangest of places. For one Wisconsin couple, it happened to be in line at the Racine McDonald's 27 years ago. When the establishment heard the couple's special love story, they knew they had to help them celebrate, providing a spread with roses and a special meal.
That's right. The corporation had 27 roses sent to the location at Green Bay Road, and management decorated a table for the couple with red tablecloth, sweet treats, and covered the couple's meal.
And the 29th annual Screen Actors Guild Awards took place Sunday night. And on the film side, almost everything was won by everywhere.
David Daniel has the highlights in today's Hollywood Minute.
Thank you.
Sally Field received a standing ovation and SAG's Life Achievement Award.
There is not a day that I don't feel quietly thrilled to call myself an actor.
Brendan Fraser.
The Whale star Brendan Fraser strengthened his hold on the Best Actor Oscar race, winning for Male Actor in a Leading Role. Like many winners, he recalled first receiving his SAG card.
It made me feel like I belonged. We're actors. We all want to belong to a tribe. And that's when I found where I belonged. And if you told that guy back then that I'd be standing right here, right now, I would not have believed you.
Jamie Lee Curtis began an unbelievable run for Everything Everywhere All at Once, winning for Female Actor in a Supporting Role.
I love actors. I love acting. I love the job we get to do. I love being a part of a crew. I love being a part of a cast.
Castmate Kihui Kwan took the baton, winning Male Actor in a Supporting Role, the first Asian male to win an individual SAG award.
To all those at home who are watching, who are struggling and waiting to be seen, please keep on going, because the spotlight will one day find you.
I think if I speak, my heart will explode.
Then Michelle Yeoh took female actor in a leading role, the first Asian woman to receive a leading film acting honor.
This is not just for me. This is for every little girl that looks like me.
And Everything Everywhere ended the night winning Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture, a cast including 94-year-old James Hong, whose career began nearly 70 years ago.
The producer said the Asians were not good enough and they are not box office. But look at us now, huh?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Oh, well, look at that. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Big award. Did you watch the movie?
I did actually. I really it was very long, I remember, but it was really touching. I remember it being very much focused on the relationship between the mother and the daughter. And that was sweet. That was nice.
Cute. I haven't been able to watch it, but I've heard so many good things about it.
Yeah,
I feel like
definitely a must-see. Why not?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and then what about that McDonald's couple?
Oh my gosh, so precious, so sweet, so sweet. I mean, anywhere. It could happen
anywhere. All at once.
All at once. We love it. We love it.
I think the Shamrock Shake could definitely make me fall in love. So.
Oh, I have been waiting for a Shamrock Shake.
Yes,
It's time.
I had
It's
one.
time.
Did you need to go get yours?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love the colors. Like you just
Yes.
looking at it. Like I could just look at it.
Mint is like my favorite flavor of anything. So,
That minty
what's your
sweetness,
go-to
yes.
McDonald's order?
I honestly gotta go with the simple chicken nuggets and
Oh,
some
me
barbecue
too,
sauce.
yeah.
Just a classic.
I get ranch.
Yeah, absolutely.
but-
Oh yes, of course.
All
of
right.
course.
Well, that is all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
For updates on all these stories and more, you can visit KentWired.com and follow us on all social media platforms at Kent Wired. I'm Natalie DeSantis.
And I'm Alexandria Manthey. Have a great night, Portage County.